However, the likelihood of a Section 8 tenant damaging your property is going to be slim to none, because remember, the likelihood of them possibly losing their voucher because they vandalize your property is going to be great. And we're going to be talking about a Section 8 tenant that we have. We actually purchased this mobile home like roughly about a year and a half ago. This particular tenant has been in that mobile home roughly 2 weeks after we purchased the mobile home. Guys, you know that $15,000 is our sweet spot. So we actually purchased this mobile home for $15,000. We got a lead from our mobile home park manager who now we have a good relationship with. And I told y'all time and time again, it's best to have good relationships with the mobile home park managers, okay? And you guys also know that we like working with Section 8, okay? If the pandemic were to hit again, we don't have to worry about a thing, because the government is going to pay us every month, okay? So we're going to start off talking about this particular home in 2022, because that's when we purchased it. When we purchased this mobile home, like I told you guys, we purchased it for $15,000. At the time, the lot rent was $450. We were charging this individual $1,400. So if you take $1,400, and you can see here on the ledger, guys, if you take $1,400 and you subtract the lot rent of $450, we were receiving $950 in our pockets every month. $950 every month in our pockets, free and clear. Okay. If you take $950 and you multiply it by 12 in a year's time on this one mobile home that we paid $15,000 for, that brought you up to $11,400. And I don't mean to say that bought you up, that bought us up to $11,400 that we made from a mobile home that we paid $15,000 for. So we made $11,400 off of that particular mobile home from a Section 8 tenant. Okay. And so you see the numbers here, and I'm, hiding my tenant's name because there's no need for you guys to know my tenant's name. And she's responsible for only $98. So if this pandemic was to hit again back in 2022, if something else would have gone wrong, she would only be responsible for $98 of her rent. That's why when people tell me, oh, I don't like Section 8, I just don't understand why Section 8 damages your property, but so can an individual who's not on Section 8. A regular person can damage your property, and you wind up in small claims court, okay? You can wind up in small claims court with a Section 8 tenant as well. However, the likelihood of a Section 8 tenant damaging your property is going to be slim to none, because remember, the likelihood of them possibly losing their voucher because they vandalize your property is going to be great. So what Section 8 tenant is going to do that? I don't know a lot that will do that. And matter of fact, guys, we had one situation with one lady where there was some damage to our property, and she turned around and she paid for the damages. I don't know how she went about getting the money, but she paid for the damages because Section 8 was responsible for all of her rent, but they weren't responsible for the damages, okay? So this is why we like dealing with Section 8. So let's go over the numbers. Back in 2022, when we purchased this mobile home, we purchased it for $15,000. We charged this young lady, as you can see, $1,400, and she was responsible for $98 of this $1,400. If you take $1,400 and you subtract the lot rent of $450, that gives you $950 of a profit in your pocket every month, in our pocket every month. If you multiply that by 12, which is 1 year, that gives you $11,400, okay? If the lot rent would have stayed the same, guys, if it would have stayed the same, and we kept this mobile home for 2 years instead of a year and a half, we still have the mobile home. If we kept it for 2 years, guys, that would have been $22,800 of a profit we would have made off of this mobile home in the 2 years' time, okay? Now we're going to scroll up. We're going to go to 2023. And so now, here we go. 2023, May the 1st. Section 8 came in, they did an inspection of the home after 1 year, and they said, hey, you guys need to increase the rent. We increased the rent by $100 because remember I told you the tenant was paying $1,400. Now we increased the rent after 1 year. Now it's up from $1,400 to $1,500. Okay. This particular tenant is responsible now not for $98 anymore. They're responsible for $155 of this $1,500. Okay. So we own this mobile home now a year and a half. Okay. We're charging her $1,500 per Section 8. The lot rent went up from $450 to $495. Okay. So if you take the $1,500, you subtract the lot rent of $495, we're receiving $1,005 in our pockets every month from a Section 8 tenant from a mobile home that we barely spent $15,000 on. If you take $1,005, which we have coming in our pocket every month, and you multiply that by 12, in a year's time, we will receive $12,060 for this particular mobile home every month. I don't know who is able to say this in the single family home space, that they can buy a property very cheap, sometimes, the same price as somebody would pay for a car, and have these types of returns on their investments. Okay.